Hello, hello. It's Jamie Swanson with Pampered Chef, and today I am bringing you a hopefully very informative pressure cooker workshop. Regardless of what brand name yours, the box came in, yours came in, they're pretty universal as far as the way that they work. So, hopefully, this will give you some ideas just to feel more comfortable with it, to use it a lot more often. I feel like it's probably one of the most underused products in people's kitchens. And I use mine multiple times a week, often three, four times a week, sometimes multiple times a day. Today I'm going to share some tips that I think will be helpful to help you really, if you don't fall in love with it right away, at least you can just get more used to it and do some real basic things. So in the past, I've done desserts, I've done crab legs, but today I'm just going to show you some real basic things that I think will impact the way you're cooking. And a lot of folks, especially at the beginning of the year, they're trying to cook more, just healthier, or try to do a little prep ahead. So with what I'm sharing today, hopefully we'll kind of cover several of the bases. So the only ones I've been familiar with are the Pampered Chef ones. So we had a quick cooker years ago, and then this is called the Deluxe Multi Cooker. So I can only answer specific questions based on the ones that I've had. But again, some of them are pretty universal, so I think you'll kind of get the idea. So I'm going to talk about a couple of just the basic features that might be helpful. I do have some eggs in here, and I'll talk about how I did that. So I'm just going to cancel that, release the steam. Now, what I love about this one, it did like a natural release for about 10 minutes. I didn't have a lot of steam that came out. So I'm going to take that off and then pop you can see that, but the lid will stand right there. All right, so I am going to take these 6 eggs out. I put the 1 cup of water in there and 6 eggs on the little rack. I'll show you the rack in just a second. And typically I do about 12 minutes, but I wanted it a little bit softer than that. So I did 10 minutes today. So the trick with making them feel super easy is to put them in an ice bath as soon as you get them out. So this is a little rack. Most pressure cookers, I would say, come with some type of little elevation rack with that. But first, I'm going to start with just some real basic information. All right, so most of them have like an inner pot that's removable that you would be able to put in the dishwasher. I love that this one tells me that just the max amount that I can put in here, because you don't want it too full, because it actually does need to come up to pressure. So you would have to have some of that room in there. Another really important thing is to make sure when you go to use it that you've got the silicone ring in there. Okay, so the silicone ring is actually what will seal it once you've got the lid on. So make sure that's there. Now, most of them, I'm guessing, like at least ours, you can put it in the dishwasher. So if I've cooked, like, let's just say carnitas or something that's very oniony, like peppers and sausage and peppers, that's going to be kind of smelly. So I'll put it in the dishwasher. Another thing that I like to do, rather than putting the lid back on right after I've gotten everything cleaned, is to flip this upside down, and that keeps some of the smells out as well. So just a quick little tip on that. Okay, so some of your recipes will call for like a specific setting. So in the Pampered Chef recipes, and I'm going to show you, this is a past book that we've got, but I've got the current version. Even though like ours may have some bells and whistles that yours doesn't, I'm going to show you just some real basic things. Towards the end, after I've done a couple of the food things that I'm going to do, I'm going to show you where I've put a digital copy of something similar to this that you can use it, because it makes it really easy to follow. But for example, like we've got a poultry setting that I'm going to use in just a few minutes on one of the dishes that I'm going to do. So on the poultry, it's preset to 15 minutes, and it knows the pressure that it wants to be. But if you have a recipe that just says, high pressure for 10 minutes, what you'd want to do is go to the custom set or the custom setting on that, because you can adjust the pressure, the time, different things like that. Now, I love that this really takes the guesswork out of me trying to figure out what I'm gonna cook. So there is a sear. Now, other brands, it may be the saute feature. So that is great. So if I'm doing like peppers and onions and needed to like saute those, or maybe even ground beef for a soup or a stew, I can go ahead and do that. So I'm not taking out a big skillet and then having to transfer it over. So I can brown that. So ours is sear, others may be saute, but that's typically just pretty universal with that. Now, another thing that I would suggest is this is just a great little tip for you, especially if you're like me. You're always like just rushing around and have time is of the essence. Before like I start to prep the food that goes in there, a lot of times I'll hit the sear and then start it, and that just gets the pot starting. It's like it's kind of give us a head start on that. So start with a hot pot, so use your sear or saute to get that going. Typically what you'll need is at least 1 cup of water to whatever you're cooking, whether it's the eggs, if you're doing a vegetable, if you're doing today, you're going to see both potatoes, chicken, and rice. So those are all things that we're going to eat this week. And so I figured I'd go ahead and do it. You would need at least 1 cup of water because that creates that steam that's actually gonna cook it. So as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that potato or the egg water, and then break it in 2 pounds of potatoes here. So this is just some russet potatoes. So what I love about this is I've actually got more that I'll do a little bit later, but I just didn't want to overfill it because it's going to it's just going to be super quick. The latest this week, I'm doing a loaded potato chowder for a teacher luncheon. And so I wanted to go ahead and just have the potatoes done. So I figured you guys could be my guinea pigs on that. Now I did add a cup, 2 cups of water, and then I'll go ahead and add a little bit of salt to that to get it going. Now, since the eggs just came out of it, it's got a hot pot already, which is really good. So I'm just going to do custom, and then I'm going to change the time to 5 minutes and start. Just that easy. So within it usually takes about 10 minutes for things to come up to pressure. But because we've already got a hot pot, it should not take quite as long, but about 5 minutes. So what I can do, oh my goodness, we have got a nosebleed. So hang tight. Mom life. Oh my goodness, buddy. Thank you for, oops. Wash your hands. And I'm glad somebody has joined us. So welcome. Let's see who is here. I'm not even sure who's here, but we're glad you're here. All right, buddy. Woo. That's a big one. Okay, let's get to the bathroom and wash your hands real good. All right, I think it's Abby that's joining us. Okay, yeah. All right, well, that was fun. So let me wash my hands a little bit too. All right, go to the bathroom and make sure you're all cleaned up before you come back out. Hashtag real life in real life with Jamie Swanson. How about that? Okay, so typically about 10 minutes to come up to pressure. The hot pot will make it a little bit quicker. And you always need some type of liquid. So it could be water, chicken broth. Some of the recipes I do, like your ribs, you can do that. Just do a can of soda. So you'll love that. Now, I love that, like the poultry setting, for example, like it's just preset. I know what it is. But if it's a bigger piece of meat or a smaller piece of meat, I can adjust that. But that just tells you the typical time. Like with the poultry, when I do the chicken in a few minutes, it's preset to 15 minutes. I think when I do the chicken breast, typically it's just a little more done than I want it to be. So I'm going to just dial back a little bit on that. So let's talk about some other vegetables that you can do. So I've got a triple batch of potatoes that I'm going to be doing. So my intentions for those are to make the potato chowder, but I could also make potato salad. I could do mashed potatoes, which we're having London broil tomorrow. So that might be good with that. I can also do just even like a twice baked potato casserole. So it really starting with just one big amount of the vegetable is a great plan. So in the little cookbook that I'm going to show you in just a few minutes, this is the old version from our first pressure cooker, but all the times are pretty universal. But let's just say some like artichokes. I've never cooked a fresh artichoke, but if that's your thing, you could put three in there for 25 minutes, and it tells you how to do it. Broccoli, you guys, it only takes 1 minute to steam broccoli. Now, 1 minute sounds great, but remember, we've got the 10 minutes to come up to pressure. So always account for that. Do not do it over 1 minute because it becomes way too squishy with that. So Brussels sprouts, we love Brussels sprouts. We typically do those in our air fryer. Um, but I love that you can do that. That only takes about 4 minutes. Carrots, sweet potatoes, you name it. Now, in the other little cooking guide that I'm going to give you, it's broken down by different types of meats as well. So I really, really love the option for that. So beef, so you've got ground beef, stew meat, brisket, and it tells you how you can cook it from fresh or how you can cook it from frozen. Okay. So I think that's one of the best things about having a pressure cooker is just to say that you spaced is 4 o'clock. You're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to defrost something. It's going to be pizza again. Not necessarily. So you can certainly um, pull in and just pull your pork chops, your chicken, your stew beef, whatever it is that's in the freezer, dump it in there, and it's usually just a very not a huge time difference. So, for example, boneless, skinless chicken breast. If you're cooking fresh, not frozen, 6 to 10 minutes. And it says if you've got it frozen, 10 to 12 minutes or 8 to 12 minutes. So even bone in foods, different things like that. But you've got pork, turkey, beef, just a great variety of things like that. So other things that I love to do in the vegetable world, let's see, I've even done baked potatoes. So I'll use this same little rack and put a couple of potatoes in there, just wash them up real good, salt them, and then it steams them beautifully. If I want them to be kind of crispy on the outside, because I do like to have the crispiness, I'll either pop it in the oven for a little bit at the end or pop it in my air fryer. So I've got the option for that as well. All right, so hopefully those will get cooking pretty quickly, and you guys can check out that. But why don't I go ahead and show you with this egg what we're working with? So let's take this off. I'm like once I started steaming my eggs, I haven't like really gone back to boiling them anymore. So I just kind of cracked it on there, and usually it just comes off in a pretty easy little sheet. But even though it's coming off necessarily in a sheet, my egg is not destroyed all to pieces. So I love that. So my middle son and I love boiled eggs. So it's just nice to have like a half a dozen at a time in the refrigerator so I can put it in his lunchbox. This is an easy breakfast for me. I'm ready to go with deviled eggs at a moment's notice. So whatever we need to do. Usually about 2 or 3 days is the limit I like to have for the boiled eggs. But now that I've got the eggs, I'm ready to go for chicken salad, tuna salad, maybe potato salad. So again, that kind of goes hand in hand with the kind of prep ahead things that are going on. All right, let's see who has joined us. Um, let's see. Yes, Abby, you are right. So, all right, let's see who is here. I'm not even sure who's here, but so Abby's joined us. So whoever else has joined us, let me know that you're here. And then I really would love to ask questions about your use of your pressure cooker. So it's a great time to kind of hear what you've got, how you're using it, and yeah. So, Abby, we'll start with you. Why don't if you're where you can come off of mute, I'd love for you to um, tell us what you got and how often you're using your pressure cooker.
Hey, Jamie. So I typically use it for like soups and stuff, like last minute dinner ideas, because I don't usually plan my meals as well as you do.
Well, like sometimes I'm really, really good, and then sometimes I'm not, and that's the beauty of throwing some frozen chicken in here. So,
Absolutely.
right. Okay. So soups, like soups and stews. Yeah. And I think that that is perfect because you can, set it and forget it. It's just really nice that you can, just pop it in there and just move on about your evening, or maybe, you come home at, lunch to get it going. Another thing that I really love, about that is it stays warm until, like it just stays heated until I turn it off. So I love that you can do that. Now, Kayla, I know that this is on your wish list. Do you have another brand of one, or have you ever used one before? I can finally see who's on. Hopefully, Kayla can hear us. All right, so no problem. I will. Okay, you don't have one yet. Okay, well, we need to get this one in your kitchen, girl. We need to get it. Now, another thing that I think is really unique about this one, again, I've only had the paper chef versions, never had other styles. But you can delay the start on this. So typically, I don't, especially if I'm doing like something with a meat. I don't delay it more than about an hour and a half because you run into the chance of, just temperature issues. And I don't want to make anybody sick. I got a lot of goals for my family, and food poisoning is not one. So meat's about an hour and a half because if it goes straight from the refrigerator in there, I can like delay the cook for about an hour and a half comfortably, for me to do it. Now, if it's a potato, you're fine because it's got the water and whatnot. Or if you're doing like overnight oats, you could do that like in a crock pot, or in the pressure cooker. So you could delay the start on things like that. But I love that because, before 2 o'clock, when I start leave around 2:20 to start the pickup from after school is the perfect time for me to get my roast in or whatever I'm going to do, then do the loop to get everybody picked up, start homework. And guess what? I didn't have to think to go push start. So that is a huge, huge gift, to me. And again, I use this thing all the time. So, just love it. And I'll tell you, like when the pressure cookers first came out, I really didn't, I had zero desire to get one because I'm like, we've got the deep cover baker, we've got the rock rock, why in the world would I need anything that's going to cook any faster? But I'm telling you, I truly, truly fell in love, with this and using it, all the time. All right, so let's talk about different meats that I do. So we love, to do chicken. So that's one of the things I'm going to do is just show you some chicken breast here in the multi cooker, today. So with the chicken breast, what I'll do is I can put as much chicken in there as I want. With us having, a couple of extra days off of school this week, I'm not going to do quite as much as I normally do because I will have a little more flexibility. But I'm going to put two chicken breasts, in there, to cook. So it's going to take, I don't know, maybe, like 8 to 10 minutes, is what I think I'm going to try today. With this chicken breast, I have got lots of things that I can do with it. Okay, I can turn it into chicken salad. Part of what I'll do with today's is make chicken and rice because my boys love that. It's perfect to put in their thermoses. We use a lot of, thermoses for, school lunches. So if I had some that just came out of the lunchbox, so they got a good clean, today. So that's a great, just a filling meal for them. It's a great after school snack, and you guys, it's super super budget friendly. We're talking about a little bit of chicken, and some rice, and it just doesn't get much cheaper, than that. But with the chicken, I'm not going to use all the chicken for the chicken and rice. So maybe I'll shred some up and make a buffalo chicken dip. Maybe I'll take that same chicken and throw over a salad, or maybe I'll add some salsa and make a quesadilla. So I am the queen of not leftovers, but planned overs. How about that? Because I think when people think the word, leftover, they think about that same chicken and broccoli casserole that they're going to eat for 4 days in a row for lunch and dinner. And nobody wants to do that. Okay. And I think growing up, many of us had leftovers, and that may have been what it looked like. So I think some things like spaghetti and, any of your Italian dishes, they are better, leftover. But a lot of people I find are not big fans of leftovers, but I think they just haven't been presented, the correct way. Now, another great recipe that I love to do in here, and a lot of times I'll do it from frozen, is I'll take just some chicken breast and then a jar of salsa. So I've made salsa chicken so we can serve it like with some rice and beans for dinner tonight. Maybe I'll do a quesadilla for lunch, put it on a salad for dinner. So again, that one protein, that one like main dish is not being presented the same way. So I think that's how you can kind of trick your family a little bit on that. This makes the most amazing ribs. If you've never done ribs in the pressure cooker, definitely do that. So watch when they're on sale. Usually I'll get mine at Sam's because there's 2 or 3 just racks of ribs in there. So what I'll do is put one rack and then kind of curve it around and do a second one. And then I'll just add a can of either Dr. Pepper, Coke, Coke Zero, anything, any kind of soda like that should be good. And then it takes about 35 minutes. And you guys, like when I pull it out with my tongs, they are fall apart. Now they're not crispy because obviously they've been under pressure. So what I do is just add the barbecue sauce to it, throw it in the oven and let it crisp up. And they are so, so delicious. So really, really love that. Now, I'm not sure if you can see this. I'm going to bring it a little bit closer so you can see. So this is typical. So it still says run right now. So we're still trying to come up to pressure. Okay. So it says preheat. So as long as it's doing that, we're not seeing the number. Now, once it starts cooking, like actually cooking, it will start at 5 and then it will start counting down. So that way, I'm touching it. So we're getting somewhere. We're making some sounds. So once it goes to 5 and starts counting down, I know the cook time has started, but I also can tell because it will say preheat. It will say cook. Oh, that was perfect. How about that timing? So now it says cook. And then at the end of the 5 minutes, it will say, I think, stay warm. So you know what part of the cycle that it's in. So, and then when it's on the stay warm, and let's just say that it's doing a natural release for 5 minutes or whatever, it will go from 1 and then count up to 5. So when it's cooking, it goes from 5 to 1, and then when you're letting it do a natural release, it goes from 1 to whatever number. So that's the perfect time to tell you a little bit about what the difference in a natural release and a manual release is. So let me see if I can find a recipe in here and what it says. Okay. So this one is a pot roast with mashed potatoes. And so it says when the timer is up, let the steam release naturally for 10 minutes and then press the steam release button. Okay, so that would be like just a natural release. So it would do it right then. So things like meats, usually vegetables and stuff are probably more of a natural release. Now, anytime I'm doing like a pasta or dessert, it's typically a manual release. So that means as soon as it's done, go ahead and, click the button and release the steam because you don't want it to continue cooking. Does that make sense? All right. So you guys pop in the chat if y'all have any questions about that. Okay. Perfect. All right. So in addition to the ribs, I'm trying to think of other foods. I love to do a Boston butt. We make the Mississippi roast in here, just a regular chuck roast. Stew beef. My boys love stew beef, so we tend to do a lot of that with potatoes, carrots, onions, quick and easy on making different things like that. I also have done crab legs. You guys, they are so easy. So I'll watch like Harris Teeter, Lowe's Foods, Food Lion. They kind of rotate who has it, and you can usually get them for about $6.99 a pound, which is incredible because you're paying a lot when you go to the all-you-can-eat crab leg or $25 to add a cluster to your meal or whatever. So my little boys and I love that, and we're always looking for when they're on sale. But you just put that on the seafood setting, and so some of the recipes actually have a lower steam time. So like the potatoes, meats, different things like that, it's just going to be the high pressure. But for your seafood, you don't want it it would just overcook. So it automatically sets it for like a lower pressure. So I love that. That's, I think, one of the things about that. I think it's like 16 preset settings that are on here. We do sausage and peppers. So I'll salt or I'll sear my Italian sausage and then throw, you know, we'll see, throw bell peppers, onions, and then a jar of sauce, spaghetti sauce. And that's a really, really easy recipe and definitely one you'd want to have leftovers of, after the fact. I love that it's got both a white rice and a brown rice option. So it knows exactly how to cook that. And then I'll tell you like the temperature, the time, exactly what you need to put in that when I do the rice over here. Also beans. So that is such a budget friendly way to stretch your budget. So if you love black beans and eat them multiple times a week, or you're doing pintos or, whatever it is you want to do, grab a bag. All you have to do is rinse them. You don't have to soak them overnight like you would if you were putting them in the crock pot or at night. So you would just rinse them with some cool water, kind of make sure any of the floaters, the ones that are, just kind of out of the shell, clean those up, add some water. I think it's, I'm not sure. I think it's 3 cups of water for, a couple of cups of the beans, and you could just season them however you want to do. So that is quick and easy. Just a great way to do that. Let's see. I love to make desserts. So there's a cheesecake that I make in this one. And then like a little bundt cake. We do have some accessories that go with that. I'm pretty sure I've got I'll show you in just a minute some of the resources that I've got for you guys. Really cool. Now there's a couple of things that I've not used. I've not used the sanitize for anything. I'm not really sure what I would do. I haven't made yogurt, but if you are really trying to be health conscious and watch what you're eating and stuff, you can make homemade yogurt in here, which is apparently is super, super good. My chiropractor makes it and it's delicious, but it takes a long time. So that's just not the season of life that I'm in right now to have it to go like overnight or, hours and hours and hours. I'm looking for quick and easy. Once the kids are out, we may adjust to that. Another really neat feature on this one is it has a sous vide setting. So that's just like a water bath. So the London broil that I've got, I'm gonna set it for the sous vide because that's a tougher cut of meat. So by doing the sous vide, I'll marinate it, do it in the sous vide and for a couple of hours, and then once it's done, I will then throw it on the grill pan to cook it. So that's not one that I use a ton, but I've just heard rave reviews. I've used it a couple of times and it was great. But again, I'm looking for frozen chicken, 15 minutes in here. All right, if you heard that little beep. That means that we are done. So I'm just going to hit the off button and then I'm going to hit that release theme. And so don't be scared of that. That is natural. That is normal. There is no way this lid is going to come off because there's a little red pressure indicator back here at the back. And as long as that is up, this lid is not coming off. So do not fret about that. There's going to be some good potatoes because there's lots of pressure in there now. So the last time I made potato chowder for the teachers at school, they loved it. So I'm doing a double batch this time, so they'll be real happy to have soup day on Tuesday during their work day. All right, it is coming, but yeah, it's not hot. And if you really want to kind of do a 2-for-1, you could get a little facial while it's going on. All right, it is coming down. All right, any questions? Yes, you could definitely do the barbecue in the crock pot. Now, I will tell you on this, there is a slow cooker. I've not been super impressed with the slow cooker on the deluxe multi cooker, but it's got enough other things that I am wild about. But just full transparency, I don't think they knocked it out of the park with the slow cooker on this. All right, so we are in good shape. I got that little pressure indicator to go down, and then again I can put that lid right in there. And now I've got the potatoes that are ready to pop in here. So let me just dump it using this. Now I did a party on Monday. It was a super fun cooking party, and we did a white chicken chili that was a huge hit. Everybody loved the white chicken chili, and we made it like a charcuterie board to go with it with all the yummy things like the cheese and cornbread and whatnot. So, but how nice is that I've got a bowl full of potatoes that are just up for whatever I want with that now. All right, so real quick, we're going to move straight to the next thing, and then I'm going to pop over to my Facebook page to show you some details that I think you guys are going to love for resources. So I'm going to do the chicken and then use part of the chicken for chicken and rice. I went ahead and did 2 cups of water because I want extra broth in that. So these are just nice big chicken breasts. And I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Those are good chicken breasts. They're probably about a pound each because the container of chicken, the little package of chicken was it had 5 breasts in there, and it was right under 5 pounds. So okay, so I am going to scroll on over to poultry, and then I'm gonna do. I think I'm going to do 9 minutes this time. And of course, I'll check the temperature to make sure we're in good shape. But that way that we can just get nice and juicy chicken. All right. So what I'm going to do is I am going to trade screens with you so I can screen share. So hang tight. Ta-da! See, you see me all over the place. All right. So we're going to remove the pin. And we're going to pin this one. Right, so you guys can see. Okay. So what I will do is take you guys over to my Pampered Chef business page. So this may be something that you're not familiar with, which you guys are familiar with my business page. But under photos, there is a neat little section called albums. So a couple of years ago, I decided to start housing all of my resources for the pressure cooker, just for the pressure cooker. Because so often this is one of the, I go to a party, by raise of hand, who has a pressure cooker? 5 or 6 people raise their hand. How many of you use your pressure cooker a lot? All but like 1 or 2 hands go down. So I really, really, really want to inspire people to use it and really, even if you don't fall in love with it right away, just use it. If you've got one, it's a super valuable tool. If you don't have one, I can help you with that. So love to help you by hosting a party. So this month or next month, you can get it 60% off, and that puts it at a very, very affordable price. But here under the photos and then go to albums, you will see the pressure cooker resources. So what I've done here under this main little section is I do have a group, like a Facebook pressure cooker group. And I've had this for years and years and years. So anytime I do a workshop or something, I would share like different pictures. So this one, I did a pasta, boiled peanuts, crab legs. There's that little cake that is so delicious. They were eating the crab legs. So that was pretty fun. Let's see. Oops, we lost it. Went too far. All right. So back to albums. But also in this very first picture, and I think what I'm going to start doing is each workshop that I do, just add the recording link right in here. But what I think you guys will love is to check out this little e-cookbook. Oops. You may have to check it out later. It looks like I'm Okay, you have to trust me. You have to trust me on that. Okay, so it's basically the newest version of this e-cookbook. It worked just fine earlier, but it's going to give you the times for all the vegetables, all the meats, the rices, the grains, different things like that. And I think that's it for that. And then what I've done is just some different ideas of the different settings that you can do. So it kind of gives you some inspiration there. And then I've got quite a few of the recipes that's on the Paper Chef website. So this corn chowder is delicious. Butter chicken, I haven't tried that. Looks good. I've done the Italian wedding soup, asparagus soup. Haven't done that one, but just a lot of different things that you can make using a pressure cooker. So definitely scroll through that. Now I'm gonna stop sharing here and then show you guys something. Did either one of you do the like Walmart like grocery delivery or anything? I'm going to come over here and show you. So I am going to screen share. This is something that I haven't used, but I know that it's super cool. Let's see. Um, I don't think I'm screen sharing yet. Let's try that again. Dun, dun, dun. And even if I can't find it here, I'll show you. Hmm, that's not what I was looking for. Okay, so I may have to see. I'm pampered, not perfect. I'm much better at cooking than I am other technology stuff. Right? Nope, it didn't come up. But what I'll do is so in the Walmart app, like I do Walmart grocery delivery and grocery. Oh, I am frozen here. It's not good. Okay, I'm back. All right, can you guys hear me okay? All right, so I'm in the Walmart grocery app. So I pay like $100 a year. I can order groceries and pick it up. They'll bring it to my house. We get discount on fuel, like 10 cents per gallon. So we love it. Pretty fabulous. But there is a section in that Walmart Plus where you can go and find recipes, and you can just like click everything and add it right to your cart. So yesterday I did a little search for pressure cooker, and it pulled up like all sorts of pressure cooker recipes. So I thought, like, my gosh, like when you run out of the recipes from here, the Pampered Chef website, there may be some great ones that you find like that. And it tells you how much it is per serving, and then but it will tell you like if you need vegetable oil, olive oil, three different spices. It's going to have those in there. So if you've got a pretty well stocked pantry, you probably won't need to spend quite as much with that. Because, yeah, I always have black pepper, salt, garlic, the different things like that. But it's a really, really great way. Another thing that I really encourage you to do is, to find some new recipes, just search online. If when you do a Google search, like let's just say I wanted to do like pork chops with like cream of mushroom soup. So I would type in like pressure cooker, pork chops, cream of mushroom soup. And I just am going to find, hundreds of recipes. I find the ones that have like hundreds, if not thousands, of reviews. And if it's 4.5 stars or better, guess what? It's good enough for my family. So I found a lot of really, really good recipes like that. And Chat GPT is your friend too. So that is really a neat little thing. So I might be able to do a quick little video to add to it to show you how to use the Walmart app. So, all right, any questions? Because I'm not going to make you guys wait the whole time for the chicken. But what I will do after this is I'll pull the chicken out, and then I've got 3 cups of rice. So I'll go ahead and tell you. Typically, what you'll do with your rice is rinse your rice, and then it's like 1 for 1. So it would be 1 cup of rice to 1 cup of water. So when we do chicken and rice, like I want it to be like not necessarily soupy, but soupier than that. So when you're cooking the 1-to-1 ratio, that's perfect. It's ready for you to add to your plate. Put your Chinese food or whatever, and it's really the consistency of like a sticky rice. So I think it's delicious. And I'll cook rice for a couple of different uses for the week. But for the chicken and rice, so I've got the 2 cups of water in there, and then I'm going to add, this is the 3 cups, so I'm going to add another 4 cups. That's about the consistency that my family likes it. Now, when I do white rice, it presets to 4 minutes. So that's a little crispier than my boys like. I mean, it's just a little more al dente than my kids like. So I usually do it on 6 minutes. Now, the other thing that I do is because since I didn't have like skin on, there's not you get the chicken broth, but it's not just all the flavor that we're going to want. So you guys know me and my love of bouillon cubes. So I'll throw a couple of bouillon cubes in there to make more of a chicken broth taste. And another secret ingredient that my crew loves is the Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. I don't get it too hot, but I'll do just a little dash of that to give it some flavor. And then my crew, once it's in their bowl, they'll add more of this, or they love Carolina Treat barbecue sauce in their chicken and rice. So, all right, any questions from you guys? I hope this was helpful. I hope you are feeling inspired. And Kayla, I think we need to get you a pressure cooker. So let's chat. Let's chat about how we can make that happen. So, all right. Anything else from you guys?
Thank you. That was very helpful. Lots of good
Oh,
ideas.
good. I am glad you thought so. And yeah, it's really just getting it out and using it. Like I love it, use it all the time. And anything that I can do to help people just not be scared of it. I think a lot of folks they just don't know what to do. But I'm like, just take a breath and follow my lead. Do some eggs, do some chicken, maybe make some rice. Just real easy. There's that you like pasta dishes, you guys, it takes 5 minutes to throw some pasta in there and just throw some whatever. So easy peasy. So all right, you guys. Well, I will see you soon. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks. Have a great night.
You too.